So you mentioned at the end of what you said is that, you need to practice loving yourself, you know? So what I wanted to get into after was love languages, right? And the idea of we have more than one way that we like to be loved, you know? I'm sure for me, it's a sense of like physical touch. That's my main one. But then there's also like, I love music a lot. So if someone were to do that, give me music to listen to, I'd feel very cared for. Like within that moment, I'd feel like, oh, they're paying attention. Like, thank you. And that's what I want to ask you guys. Like, what do you guys, how do you guys like prefer being loved or appreciated? What are your love languages?
My love language, honestly, is just the person has to be more, how do you say, the person has to be there, if you get what I'm trying to say. So,
Is it quality time?
no, more like,
In the terms of life.
there you go. Like, you have to be physically, spiritually, and like mentally there at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care if we hang out all fucking day or we hang out all week. And as if you're there, when you're actually supposed to hang out, even if it's for an hour, that's basically my pet peeve. It's, that's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my definitions of love is definitely more on the lines of, like you say, physical touch, sure, but it's personal interactions with, like, my partner. Like, we're actually engaging, we're learning things about each other. And of course, it starts from the top of what do we got in common, all this and that. But we build further than that, even in like the stuff where if we can disagree, but we can still be like, we're still a unit at the end of this thing, there is something there. And I want to just make this clear, since we're on the subject of love languages, I can't stress this enough. What needs to be done, please put definitions behind love languages. Because
So
what I mean is, like, we as men and women, we communicate in different ways. And some people's definition of like love language, and at the very worst of the worst, it can be like what Ricardo was just going into. It's forms of abuse. It could be in forms of like, I'm trying to control you and this and that. And that's their definition of love language. It doesn't make it right, but we don't know what the structure behind that was for them to believe that that's a form of a language of love. But then another person's language could be totally, the complete opposite of that. So it's just, there's got to be definitions behind, the relationships that you form with people. Because the worst thing that can happen sometimes with people is they stick with a partner, and then, I guess for reasons they thought it was going somewhere, but then, I don't know, either A, they get ghosted, or B, it's just like, oh, this isn't working out. And they put everything that, they put all their, definitions into like, oh, we've been together for like months. I was thinking like house, kids, just really going the extra mile, and their partner wasn't. And it's because, did we actually put out some definitions as to like how we want this to work?
So like with love languages, right?
Yeah.
It pertains to you. Like, how do you like being shown love?
Well, I was like, for me,
Mm-hmm.
it really has to come from, like I said, just interaction with. They have to interact with me, engage with me,
Okay.
because I'm just, I know that people do love a little different these days, where it's definitely more kind of cyberish, because of, well, some people just don't feel comfortable talking to people in person, or it's just a bit more convenient because social media is all over the place. But I'm still one of those old fashioned, if you want. I'm like, hey, let's talk. Let's like chill. Let's like really try to, engage. And, engagement, some people think it means let's go to a party. Let's just do like the crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. That's not necessarily me. I can literally be in a room with you, and if we have like literally legit just conversation back and forth about crazy stuff like this and that, and we can go at that for hours, I can build something with you.
Nice.
I would say mine's is kind of communication. Because what I've learned, you get into different types of relationships with different kinds of people, so you're gonna have different type of personalities.
Yep.
You know, you get into a relationship with somebody who might be, for example, like my current relationship, she is more of an extrovert. So she's more about, wanting to go out, wanting to do this, way, more uppity, whereas me, I'm more laid back, and there has to be kind of that compromise, somewhere where we can meet in the middle, where the both of us are still just in the company of each other, and that's good enough. And we're doing things where both of us, we're going to feel comfortable and have fun. Like I've told her multiple times that to me, it's not really what we're doing. It's just the fact that we are together.
You're right.
So, but again, it comes down to the communication factor of it, because when you start a relationship, you're barely getting to know that person. So you're gonna, even if you've known this person for years,
not in the way of like
not intimate,
right? You don't know that it's a blank slate.
So you kind of have to communicate to learn. Okay, these things she likes, these things she likes more, these things she doesn't like, and these things she hates. And you also need to be able to communicate what you also like, what you really like, what you don't like, and what you hate, in order to kind of get that cheat sheet. Be like, okay, well then we could do this, well we could do that. And I feel when you kind of start, I wouldn't say memorizing, but kind of learning the other person's love language also.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know your own, then you kind of meet in the middle, and it becomes more of a, there's more of that balance and more harmonized type of relationship. At least that's what I've learned. Not all the time, right? But in my 29 years of life, what I've learned, that's how I want to run my relationship. Or let me take that back. How I wish my relationships can be. Again, not all the time, but hopefully we have at least that type of understanding.
And you know what? Just to throw something in quick, I want to stress this: just give yourself the grace to fail. Because when you're interacting with people, understand you're not going to get everything right off the first try 100%. This is about learning. You're learning a person. So you're going to have to get it wrong. And you're going to piss her off. You're going to piss him off. And it's just going like that. But you're constantly learning, because this is good information. Like, okay, she doesn't like this. I don't like that. Let's try a different approach. If you're willing to fail, but learn to try to get it right, constantly, just keep rotating that a Rubik's Cube, I promise it's gonna all line up. It's all gonna line up, and there is gonna be a solid language between the two of you. But it's something that you have to learn and get wrong and keep trying to learn again. There should never be a point where it's a ceiling where it's just, okay, I got her figured out. I know this, and that. Because if it gets there, I can promise your relationship's gonna get stale. Because then you think you know that you know that you know. And if she throws a curveball at, or whoever you're into, if they throw a curveball at you, you're not going to be able to know, like, okay, I don't know how to swing at this. What do I do? And then we're just like in an awkward space of either silence or just, now what?
I want to touch back on like what you said about learning to love someone by their love language. This is something that like I've had to learn too. Like very recently, as I keep growing, is that people are not going to want to be loved like by your love language, right? So it's like that kind of forces you to step out of your comfort zone. And I think become a better lover by loving someone the way they want to be loved. Like I know someone who their love language is acts of service, which means it's like if you help them with something, or like let's say you help them clean up a room and stuff like that's how they know that you as a person care for them, right? So that's something that I've been trying to do, which is just learn to love people the way that they want to be loved, not just by my own love languages.
Yeah, I agree, because it kind of, you also, that means that you're accepting the person for how they are, because sometimes you go into a relationship thinking that, okay, well, I've treated these women, like this, and they liked it before. Just because they worked before, that doesn't mean it's going to work now.
Got that right.
And especially, nobody's going to want, no woman or man is going to be, well, I want to be treated just like your ex, you treated your ex.
Oh, God, no.
No,
You'll be single in 30 minutes.
So the final topic, well, I guess it should have been the first one, but the final topic is going to be the holiday itself of Valentine's Day. Now, there's different ways we could look at it. There's different arguments for it. There's people who feel it's way too commercialized. It's way too materialistic. There's also people who feel it's kind of like a fad. And there's people who actually see it as, it's not that big of a deal, but it's more just, it's something cute. It's something in the moment, something just to do it's a fucking day. So what do you guys think about the day of Valentine's?
I think it's interesting to look at, let's say, like other countries and how they celebrate it. I know for like in Japan, right? They have on Valentine's Day, of course, I believe it's one or the other, right? So it's either the girls ask the guys, right, solely, and then a month later it would be the inverse, where I think it like over here it's just a day that is like around, as you said, a lot of materialistic things. I do personally think that it has become very commercialized, right? Especially like judging by how all of the commercials that are like around us about it, all the advertisements and stuff like that. And I think it's crazy too, because I think recently they started catering to single people who are on that day. And I think that's something that I would like to see more of in the future, because it's like, you may not celebrate the day with somebody, but that doesn't mean that, you don't have to feel bad about being alone on that day, especially since, you can love someone else any other time, What about you guys?
Well, I mean, personally, I feel that Valentine's Day it fluctuates for me. I know it sounds very, very undecisive, but it fluctuates depending on whether I have someone to spend the day with or whether I have no one to spend the day with. Because if I have someone, I haven't had 1 year consistent same person. So when I have someone, it's fun, it's a little mini vacation from this daily struggle of life. But when I don't have them, it just is not a normal day, just like, oh, okay, Valentine's Day. Woo! You get me? So it really fluctuates for me, So I really don't see it as an important day.
I see where Omar's coming from, because I think, the ones, especially those who's like rooted in like being single for a while, they would sometimes look at Valentine's Day as like, oh, it's just another day. But let the moment show up where they're with somebody. They're going to put a whole lot of premium around that day just to sometimes stress, I'm with somebody. And I think we just got to be honest. I think, because, I'm single myself. I think, when it's somebody single that's somebody with somebody on Valentine's Day, they probably do, especially if they've been single for a long time and then they just got someone, they probably will register it as, okay, now this day actually does have meaning or stuff like that. But that's a matter of perspective. Because for me, it's been a while since I've honestly dated. Not that I haven't had any type of interest, but it's been a while since I've dated. And, the day would show up and I maybe, I don't know. I never really was the type that just like, I'm going to take a pin to a heart-shaped balloon. Everybody's got somebody but me. I'm not going to be that. That just seems a little bogus and negative. It is another day, because the truth is, like, love was never just solely romanticized. You got your platonic loves. You got, you got friends. You do got your family, and, you got other stuff. Even like love for yourself. I think, we're kind of moving in a space where people are starting to understand it's not enough for me to just love somebody else. If I don't love myself, how can I exhibit that to somebody else? And I know that some people make the decision that even on Valentine's Day, like, I will, invest into me on this day. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's just an excuse because you don't got a date. It's like, I don't know. Maybe for some people it is, but not everybody. I think some people are putting some real interest into it, where it's like, I do love myself. I love myself. I love where the man I'm becoming. And, you know, the more I get rooted in there, when I take that step to step out and start dating, I'll be able to further express that just in a matter of way with, like, you know, my love interest. So, yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree with what everybody's saying. To wrap it up real quick, I feel that, to me, the way I'm learning to see Valentine's Day is that I do agree that it is just a day. To me, it's way too, you know, materialistic. It's way too commercialized. But at the same time, going back to the love language, learning to somebody else's love language, I'm learning. Well, just because I feel that way, that doesn't mean that my partner feels the same type of way.
That's true.
And maybe to them, they want to do something, you know, whatever, cute or all that. So is it going to kill me one day to do one thing for the person that, you know, whether you love them, like them, whatever the person you're with, the person, you know, you decided to be with? I think not. And it's going to make me get out of my shell, and hopefully we can have an enjoyable day. It's all, to me, why is it only one day out of the year that you're going to celebrate a day with the person that you so-called love? Why are you only going to share them, you know, affection on that one day? But now that I'm getting older, I'm also seeing it every day. You're not going to be on top of the world and on great terms with the person you're in a relationship with.
True.
Because there are going to be sometimes multiple days where you guys are going to be at each other's throats. Not literally. You know, there's going to be days where you guys are distant because everybody has their own thing. You know, she has her thing going on in her personal life that has nothing to do with you. You got your own stuff going on in your personal life that has nothing to do with her. So it is kind of like a date. You know, it's kind of a one-day date where you get to show that person, hey, I just want you to remember and want you to know that you still mean a lot to me, you know, hopefully. But I feel there's also people who also kind of just look at it, oh, well, here, that's going to get me pussy. So that's all I wanted to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I wanted to welcome you guys. If you are new to our channel, welcome you guys to See It Through My Eyes, and I hope you guys will stay. I hope you guys will like, share, subscribe, and continue on to listen to us. If you guys have any opinions, any stories you want to share, experiences, if you want to argue, please put it all in the comment section. Keep it, please, kindly. But thank you for coming, and hopefully we will see, well, you'll be hearing from us in the next episode. Guys?
Stan, the editor, will read all those comments because Lord knows I'm not.
yeah. You know, moral of the story is don't be afraid of getting rejected. It's normal. It's okay. Don't be a douchebag. And remember, at the end of the day, love yourself or learn to love someone else in their love language.
All right, Jerry Springer.
I thought he was going that
Take
way
care of
too.
yourself
What's up, man?
and each other.
Or give yourself much love.
There you go.
Yes.
Love yourself, love life, and love others.
And cheese fries.
And
Yes,
masturbate.
oh, okay.
All right, so enjoy Valentine's Day however you want to enjoy it. Stay safe, stay happy,
Wear a condom.
and protected.
Yes. Bye.
Take care, y'all.